Hello, and welcome to Grade.com Talks With. Today, we're talking with Marcia Dash, case manager at Sierra House, an organization improving the prospects of individual achievement for the homeless, youth with developmental disabilities, and low to moderate individuals and families through housing, education, life skills, and community services, and thereby contributing to the long-term stability of the community. And if you're new to our podcast, please press subscribe button either on YouTube or your podcast app, because today we're going to learn about an organization that is helping young women open the door to self-sufficiency. Hello, Marcia. Welcome to Grade.com Talks. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Appreciate it. Nice to be here.
I'm glad to hear that. How would you describe Sierra House for someone who is not familiar with your work?
Well, Sierra House basically has three programs that we do. We have our home improvement program. We have our FSS program or ISS program, Family Supportive Services. And then we have the transitional program, which I lead at Sierra House, three different programs.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Having different programs directed on the improving the prospects of individual achievement for young homeless women as well as youth with developmental disabilities is very important. The fact that your organization is doing work in those areas is wonderful. Could you please tell us how big of an issue is homelessness in the United States?
Well, it's a big issue. As you know, even with evictions that have been happening with COVID, people losing their job, it's becoming an even bigger situation trying to keep people in their homes. Right now, they're trying to stop that from happening by offering different programs that renters can apply for cash to pay their back rent. Landlords can apply for cash for their renters, so that the problem won't get, enormous. It is a big problem because finding employment, building your career, savings, having the education, and credit scores as well hold a lot of people back and cause their homelessness to be a continuous cycle.
Mm-hmm. It's very unfortunate that the homelessness remains one of the urgent issues in the United States, and with the COVID cases, the cases of eviction is rising, and there's not as much of a support system to help young women and other individuals to overcome the barrier of homelessness. And the fact that your organization is trying to address that issue is very important.
Yes.
As you work with young homeless women, you are aware of their needs, of their potential wishes. Could you please tell us what are some challenges and obstacles that young homeless women are facing?
Okay, so our organization, we work with young ladies between the ages of 18 and 25 and their children. They do live on the property. They have basic things that they have to do. They have chores that they have to do. They have curfew they have to meet. We do life skill classes, teaching financial literacy classes, motivational classes, interview skills, resume building. So they have life skill classes that are mandatory for them to do, and they have to save and they have to get employment or they have to go to school. Some of the obstacles and struggles that we're having, of course, is housing. Housing continues to be a big thing. There's not that much Section 8 in New Jersey. Affordable housing is very limited. The waiting list is very long. And then if they do call you, then you have a credit issue. So we try to work with our young ladies to build up their credit, know what their credit score is. And so that's part of the struggle. Another thing is getting a career going. Because, you need to make at least $30 an hour to even live in Newark. So working at the local McDonald's is not going to do it. So we try to get our girls to go back to school, pick up a trade so that they can get a career, increase their income. So those are the struggles that the young ladies are having.
Mm-hmm. Understanding that the cycle, the homelessness is probably a cycle. The fact that they are homeless today is because maybe they parents were homeless, or there were some issues that were out of their control that led for them to be.
Right. So a lot of our girls, they're coming out of the system. They're aging out of the system. Um, their parents are were unable to take care of them. Some of them are coming out of the foster system. Some of them are fleeing from domestic violence situations. So there's a lot of issues other than not following the rules of their mom's house. There's a lot of trauma attached to it. They have a lot of mental health issues, depression, suicidal thoughts. So you have to, as a case manager, I try to work through all of those things. They have to do case management with me biweekly. We go over all their goals, their family goals, their social goals, emotional, educational goals, just to try to work them through where they need to go to be self-sufficient, which I'm happy to say 86% of our young ladies transition into their own apartment, or they transition back with family, or they transition into a shared apartment with a roommate. So our numbers are pretty good in helping the young ladies. And we do have a good network of people that do donate their time to teach classes, life skill classes, to donate to the organization, which is very good. Mm-hmm. And then we end up helping young ladies that have transitioned out that still need some help, Pampers, toiletries, things of that nature, and case management as well. We still continue to do those things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. When most of the people face homelessness or homeless people, they think like it's their choice. However, as described by you, in many case scenarios, it's because they were victims of domestic violence. They came out of the system, of the foster care system.
Right.
They didn't have a support shoulder. And the fact that they can come to Sierra House, find the temporary housing, and learn the skills that are essential for them to further advance in career. You mentioned one of the challenges they're facing, and find the potential housing, whether by themselves or together with other young women that are being located in the Sierra House, is bringing them one step closer to their goal and to their self-sufficiency. You talked
absolutely.
You talked about transitional program and the effects of your transitional program, which is 86%, is quite a large number and very rewarding, I believe. But could you please describe the process of the transitional program? So a girl, a young woman, who are homeless, they come to your organization, and how the transitional cycle looks like for them.
Okay, so this is a 2-year transitional program. Mm-hmm. So once the girls call, most of our referrals is from word of mouth. So we get calls from BCMP, welfare services, schools, other agencies. Once they come in, they have to do an interview. Sierra House does not have a clinical staff. So we have to make sure that we are a good fit for them, because of course our goal is that they get the services that they need and they are in the correct place to get that service. So they come in, they conduct an interview. Once the interview is completed, we find out what day is good for them to transition into the house. They meet with me. We go over the goals that I just mentioned, the family goals, social goals, educational, employment goals. We go through all of that and come up with a plan to see where they are. Do they need services with GED programming? Do they need their resume updated? Do they need interview skills? Do they need clothing? Do they need a bus card to get them back and forth to the job interview? So we go through that whole process. And once that process is done, then we have the life skills programs that come in and reinforce our one-on-one counseling and cognitive theory process and things of that nature, just to change their thought process a little bit. A lot of our girls that have low self-esteem, we want to build their confidence through the process. we do have a house mother who lives in the house with the girls. She oversees the girls and help them with their day-to-day things that they need. Once that happens, when they start going to work, once they start working, they have to save their money. They cannot touch, they do not have access to it until they're ready to transition out. Sierra House doesn't take any of the money whatsoever, whatever interest, they get everything. And once that process is finished and they're saving their money, then we start looking for housing. So if they're in a stable working position, we start looking for housing. What can you afford? And we start looking around those areas. If there's any openings for Section 8 or affordable housing, we have them, of course, fill out as many applications as possible that can help them, because we don't want them to go back into their homelessness. So this is a 2-year program. However, we've had one young lady that stayed, and she's still here since 2017, because we worked with her through her school process. She got her associate's degree from Essex County College. She got accepted into Rutgers. She's now working at University Hospital. So we try to, back them up as much as possible and give them as much help as they need without, being a crutch. Mm-hmm. They have to be independent and have their own thought process, lead their own life. But we just guide and coach.
Wow.
And that is the process. And then they're on their merry way. And we do have, once they find their apartment, we an organization that help us furnish their apartment, and it's free. They go, they measure, they bring them whatever they need, so they don't have that expense as well, which is also very helpful for the girls. So a lot of great organizations out there helping Sierra House along the way.
Wow, the 2-year transitional program is indeed a cycle that can help boost the girl's self-esteem, provide her with necessary skills that can further allow her to achieve the career goals, life goals, and everything she wishes. But what I really like about your approach is you mentioned as a case manager, when they are admitted to Sierra House, you talk one-to-one to them. So there's you make sure that they understand their goals. You make sure that based on the conversations you've had with them, you take appropriate tools and provide appropriate tools for them to succeed. So there's not like general approach for everyone, yet there is individual development-based approach for the success of each and young girl that comes to your program as well. What do you do after the program? Help them furnish their homes, or even if they need any support, they can always come back to you as a mentor, as a coach, and they can get the support that they need. So that's wonderful to see the impact you are making in the initial stage, during their transition, as well as after the transition is over. Another thing that your organization does is provide family support services. Could you please tell us in detail what those services are and how they impact the life of young single moms that come to Sierra House?
Okay, so family support services are for youth and young adults under the age of 21 with challenging behaviors and development disabilities. Basically, we go into the homes and work with the parents to meet their goals. What their goals are for each child is different. It can be buttoning, pottying, knowing how to navigate in the community, different things. So whatever their goal is, that's where we go in and we meet with the parents, work with the children, and come up with a plan. So they have many different areas that we work in, not only Essex County, but we also work in Hudson County, Essex County, Union, Bergen, Passaic County. We go into those different counties for the FSS program.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful to see that when parents and families who are struggling and who have children with disabilities, they can get help from organizations
Yes.
such as yours. So you mentioned the cases may vary, so the goals might vary, but your approach of having the needs of the families and the needs of the a child with developmental disability being met enables them to receive support in the various areas that they need. So that's wonderful to see that. And also, as you are based in East Orange, you have a neighborhood support program. Could you please tell us about this program as well?
Yeah, so our neighborhood home improvement program, we buy property that have been abandoned or foreclosed upon, fix up the property in the hopes of stabilizing the neighborhood. We provide either home ownership to families with low incomes to try to help them, or rent to families with disabilities, just trying to help the community build up the property and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So that's our home improvement program.
Yeah, with the cost of housing rising in United States across all states, we can understand the struggles families with low income can face when it comes to housing. But the fact that your organization is providing rent support or housing support for them, and as well as for families living with disabilities, allows them to have less burden on their shoulder and find opportunity that will allow them to have a good quality of life. If someone would like to support Sierra House, how can they do that?
Oh, so many ways. We have donations. You can call at any time or go on the website through monetary donations or toiletries, anything you can donate. Also, we have a program with the life skills. So we have people who may be having a skill in the areas, like we have bankers come in and talk about the banking system with the girls. If you have any type of skills, you can come in and teach a life skills class for 40 minutes with the young ladies. They absolutely love it. It can be motivational as well. We've had sip and paint, things of that nature, just something to engage the young ladies with. Art for the children. We have people come and donate their time to read to the children, do little arts and crafts with the children. So anything in that area is fine. So pre-COVID, we had something called International Night, where we would have people come in and they would pick a dish from different countries. Girls would research the country, and then we'll have like a little sit-down dinner and get to know each other. So things like that. We have a room where you can adopt one of the girls' rooms and sort of like donate things to help their room, just a rug, comforter, just to make it a little homier for them. So we have a lot of those things we can do.
Mm-hmm. The link to the Sierra House website will be provided in the description, so you viewing and listening can go to the website and familiarize yourself with the great work Marcia and the team at Sierra House are doing and support them in their journey. Thank you so much, Marcia. It was wonderful to get to know you and the great work Sierra House is doing.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great. Thank you so much. Good luck to you as well and your organization. Doing a great job.
Thank you. For you listening, if you enjoyed this conversation, please press like and share button, because this will show the YouTube algorithm that this conversation is important, that we need to support young women to open the door to self-sufficiency. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.